Hey everybody, it's Dawn. Welcome to Soul Simple Life Shifts. Today we're taking a look at how we look at life itself. What is our relationship to life? Big question, but also pretty simple one. And, I think that this is something that we can easily check in on every day. There was a time, and I really, need to get back to this practice where I would, first thing in the morning, this was like a reframe that I would revisit. How am I seeing life in general, my life, and what life is, what it's about, but also the nature of life. For example, do you trust that life is working in your favor? Do you, feel that life is on your side and is working with you, that there's a natural flow and rhythm to things? So that's what this one's all about. Let me give you a couple of the shifts that I see occurring. So one very common approach to life and looking how we see life is hard, and life's a bitch and then we die, isn't that what they say? And life is drudgery. And the shift would be to life is easy and fun. We also, many of us, develop through the years, usually from pain and other situations that we encounter, a sort of distancing of life, maybe even disregard at times, and a mild sort of dishonoring of life or distrust. So all those dis words, look at that. And then the shift that we can have, oops, my screen's going dark here. The shift that we can have is reverence and honor for life. Another shift is from kind of the way that we may have done it to date would be that life is a game, but only a game. And so it's like a thing to be overcome, to be won, something to be achieved, and often even there can be this implication that life is, again, like working against us, or it's a trick, it's a challenge. We got to figure it out. We're in the game, hurry up. So there's that sort of feeling in it. And back to what I've said at the beginning, maybe we could shift into seeing that and trusting that life is working in our favor, that life is something to be received, and that life is always in this process of recreation. And so there's something new. It's not just a thing to figure out, a game a maze to navigate, and a game to win, but rather something that is ever evolving and becoming, just as we are. And then the last one I'll share is that this idea of our relationship to life itself. We have often, I think, historically rooted ourselves in the practical, the predictable, the things that are right in front of us that must be done in life. That's life. You must do these things. And there's a subtle way that we can shift now as we, lean into a whole new way forward together, and just a whole new way of seeing ourselves, being ourselves, and freeing ourselves, is to be rooted in the magical and the miraculous, in something more than what is what is a set of circumstances that we must move through in this day, and things we need to check off our list. Those are important, but just an opening from just the practical, pragmatic, or predictable, and a little bit of room for the magical and the miraculous. So that is a focus on our relationship to life and how we're viewing life. And you can really feel into this one just throughout your day. It's one that is not, it doesn't have to require a lot of, mental energy here. Just notice, how am I really viewing everything right now? And life itself, and creation, and nature. Nature's a go-to anchor in terms of reconnecting to what really is true of life. And so try some of those shifts. And one of the practices that I use sometimes is just a very simple journaling type practice, but very short. I call it lifelines. And so typically when I use this practice, it's when I'm at my desk in my office or in my studio, and I've got a little notebook, either my art studio notebook that I keep, or I have a notebook for, client work and for other projects that I'm working on. And so I'll have a little page or a section sometimes in those notebooks where if I need to like reconnect to more positive, constructive energy for how I'm viewing life, my life, and its circumstances at any given moment, but just life in general and the life around me, or if something comes to me that is a reminder of like, oh yeah, this is something beautiful about life, I'll try to capture it, just like a one-liner. So as an example, one day I was in my office and two dragonflies that were mating were flying around outside the window, and I was like, oh, this is like miraculous that it's so funny. I'm just thinking of those nature videos I used to have, but like literally it was right outside my window, and they were beautiful, just stunning patterns. And I mean, that's a beautiful, simple thing, right? And so I drew drew it in my little art studio notebook because that's what I was doing that day, and wrote a little line about that. So just find things to celebrate about life. Another, less direct example would be, say you're going through your day and you're, caught up, and you catch yourself, oh, like I need to open up my energy a little bit. And so maybe you think about nature and you think about a memory that you had. So me, that might be, when I went to Niagara Falls when I was 22 or so, or maybe 24. But in any case, and that trip, and I might remember, like, what was it that made me feel so good that day? Well, inevitably, it's something about how you were viewing life or love or, some positive experience. And so I'll, just kind of keep a list of those. And then when I need inspiration and I can't seem to connect to anything positive, I'll go back and look at my page. And that always reconnects me back to the higher octave of life itself. So this is your invitation to look at how you are relating to life itself and how you are collecting evidences that life is working in your favor, that life is a beautiful gift for us all to experience more and more of who we are, and receive from life and give to life.